Hi everyone, I'm Rachel. I'm the Youth Services Librarian at Lithgow Public Library. And for story time today, we are going to be reading a legend, or another way to say it is like a folk tale or a myth. We're doing this because we've been making puppets this week, and along with the shadow puppet take and make that we are doing, you've gotten some fables, The Lion and the Mouse and The Tortoise and the Hare. So we're going to read a story that's kind of similar to that. It's an origin story, and then we're going to sing some songs about the animal that's in that story. So let's start with our good morning song. I'm going to count to 3 and you can join me if you'd like. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, I'm fine, how are you? Great job, great job. And how about today we do our How Many, How Much poem by Shel Silverstein. Are you ready? It goes like this. How many slams in an old screen door? Depends how hard you shut it. How many slices in a bread? Depends how thin you cut it. How much good inside a day? Depends how good you live 'em. And how much love inside a friend? Depends how much you give 'em. Great job. Okay. So before we start our story, we're gonna get all of our wiggles out with our open, shut them song. Can you open and shut your hands with me and follow along? Get your wiggles out through your fingers before we start our story. It goes like this. I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Open, shut them, open, shut them, wiggle them like this. Open, shut them, open, shut them, blow a little kiss. Ready? Mwah. And then we're gonna creep them, crawl them, creep them, crawl them, right up to our chin. Open your mouth wide, ah! But don't let them in, because we're gonna open, shut them, open, shut them, give a little clap. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Place them in your lap. And when your hands are placed in your lap, I know that you are ready to start our story. Are you ready to listen to our story? Okay. It's called Raccoon's Last Race. There's Raccoon. And it's by Joseph Bruchac and James Bruchac. And pictures are by Jose Urrego and Ariana Dewey. Are you ready to read this together? Raccoon's Last Race, a traditional Abenaki story. It is a Dial Books for young readers. Do you know who the Abenaki are? Long ago, Raccoon did not look the way he does today. Here's his tail and his foot. Back then, Asben the raccoon had very long legs and was a fast runner. In fact, he was the fastest of all the animals. Because of this, he liked nothing better than to challenge the other animals to a race. With his long legs, he would always win. So Raccoon used to have long legs and be very, very fast. He would race Bear. Zip, zip. He would beat Bear. He would race Fox. Zip, zip. He would beat Fox. He would race Rabbit. Zip, zip. He he would beat Rabbit. See all those animals? Even Rabbit. Rabbit's very fast, but he leaves them in the dust. Azban the raccoon also liked to taunt the other animals. While racing, he would turn his head back to look at his competitors, and he would sing, "Hee, hee, hee, look at me. I am Azban, I am fast. Look at you, ho, ho, ho. You are very, very slow." There he is singing his song to Fox. As you might imagine, this didn't please the other animals. After a while, none would accept Azban's challenges. In fact, they even refused to speak to him because he was always trying to taunt them into racing. There's Azban with his very long legs, and look, they don't even want to talk to him. That's what happens when you're not nice to your friends, right? This didn't stop him. He began to play tricks on the other animals. He would hide in a tree, and when the animals walked by, he would jump down and frighten them. Because Azban was so fast, no one could ever catch him. Oh. So now, instead of changing himself, he's being even worse. He's bullying these animals. One day, Azban noticed someone sitting on top of a tall hill. Perhaps I can play a trick on that one. Perhaps I can challenge him to a race, Azban said. He quickly ran to the top of the hill. There's Azban. And what's on the top of the hill? I don't know. But when he got there, he discovered it was not an animal at all. It was a big rock. This did not stop Azban. He loved to talk, especially about himself. "Grandfather, are you a fast runner?" he asked. "I am Azban. I am the fastest of all animals." To Azban's surprise, Big Rock spoke back. In a deep voice it said, "No, grandson, I do not travel. I just sit here." "You should try it, grandfather," Azban said. "Grandson," Big Rock said, "I do not want to travel. I have been here for a long, long time. This is how it will always be." Azban smiled. "Maybe not, grandfather. I will help you." Uh-oh. Look at the look on his face. And here's the big rock. Grandfather, what do you think Azban's going to do? He's definitely going to play a trick on him, and I don't think it's going to be nice. Then Azban got behind Big Rock and began to push and push. As he did so, the rock began to wobble back and forth. Thump, 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 thump. Azban pushed harder and harder. Kaboom! The rock fell over on its side and began to roll. Kaboom! 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 It rolled on down that hill. "Aha, grandfather!" Azban shouted. "Now you are traveling." There he is pushing, and look, the rock does not look happy. And there he's pushed him off the top of the hill, and he still does not look happy. As Big Rock rolled down the hill, Azban quickly caught up and ran alongside. "How do you like it?" he asked. And Big Rock answered, "Kaboom! Kaboom! Kaboom!" Well, as that rock rolled down that hill, it naturally began to pick up speed. "Yippee!" thought Azban. "This rock is trying to challenge me to a race. I will show it a thing or two." Running as fast as he could, Asban the raccoon flew past the rock that was rolling kaboom, kaboom down the hill. He began to zigzag in front of the big rock while turning around and taunting. "Ha ha, you are very slow, grandfather. I, Asban, am very fast." There's the rock rolling down the hill and Asban in front of him running and taunting him. Not very nice. But Asban turned his head to taunt that rock one time too many. Not looking where he was going, he tripped. Kathunk! He fell on the ground right in front of Big Rock. Oh no. He's tripped and he's fallen in the path of Big Rock. Since the rock had never been traveling before, it didn't know how to stop. Instead, it went kaboom, kaboom, splat, kaboom, kaboom, splat. On and on the rock traveled, enjoying itself quite a bit. Oh no. It looks like the rock went splat on top of Asban. Oh no. And there lay Asban the raccoon, rolled so flat and wide by the rock that he could not move his arms or legs, or even his head. All he could move were his lips. "Help me, somebody please help me," he said in a small, flattened out voice. But no one seemed to hear Asban's cry for help. Or maybe, remembering all the tricks he had played, they did hear and pretended not to notice. He's asking for help and no one will help him because he's been a little too proud and a little too mean. Bear skipped by, but he didn't stop to help. Fox trotted by, but he didn't stop to help. Rabbit, kabunk, kabunk, hopped right over him, appeared not even to notice, didn't stop to help. One by one, just about every animal in the forest passed Asban by. Do you think there's a reason they're not helping him? I don't think they consider him to be a friend or an ally. All he has done is taunt them and make them feel inferior. Asban began to think he would be lying there forever. Then, toward the end of the day, one of the smallest creatures walked by, one of the ants. Walking right on top of him, he looked down at Asban's flattened out face and asked, "How can I help you? Everyone says that we ants are good for nothing." Asban had hoped for someone a little bigger than an ant, but he looked up and said, "Oh no, I think you ants are wonderful. Please go get all of your sisters, brothers, and cousins and help pull me back into shape. If you do, I promise I'll always be your friend." He's making a deal with Ant. He's also someone that no one really notices. Let's see. Now, it's not easy being an ant. Other creatures are always kicking you around, not even noticing you. With a friend as big as Asban, the ant thought, maybe everyone will show us a little more respect. "I will help you," said the ant, "but remember your promise." Yes, of course," said Asban. "Now hurry up and get back here with the others." Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, look at all of those ants. Think of all those ants. And so the ant went back to his village. "Hear me," he said. "Asban the Great has promised he will always be our friend if we help pull him back into shape." There's the anthill. He's gathering all of his ant friends, which they may be small, but they are many. The ants agreed that it would be good to have a friend as big as Asban, And so before long, all of the ants, thousands of them, gathered around the raccoon and began to do something they do very well. Work together. There they are, and there's Azban. I think they'll be able to pull him back into shape. Let's see. Those ants pulled and pushed and pulled and pushed. They began putting Azban back into shape. There they go, doing their job. Soon, Azban the raccoon could move. He stood up, and as he did, he saw that many of the ants were still clinging to his body. Instead of being grateful for what they had done, he just brushed them off and said, "Horrible little ants." He began to walk away without even saying thank you. Azban, again, not being very nice at all. However, after only a few steps, he noticed something. His legs were very short. His body was still quite wide. He had brushed those ants off before they had finished stretching him out. Does he look different now? He does. He looks quite different. But having broken his promise, he knew the ants would never agree to finish the job. Instead, Raccoon had learned to accept being the short, squatty animal he is to this day. There's Azban. He is just short and squatty. And he is certainly not a fast runner. He's behind everyone now. He's not very quick at all. The end. So this is what we call an origin story. And the story is about how Raccoon got his short legs and his big body. Now, Azban the raccoon was not a very nice raccoon, and he paid for it by losing his ability to run very fast. Now let's sing some songs about a raccoon. I am going to be a raccoon. Can you see me? The most noticeable feature of a raccoon is their mask, right? They have a black mask on their face. And then the second most noticeable feature of a raccoon is their striped tail. So let's sing some songs about raccoons. The first one is called I'm a Little Raccoon, and it's kind of like I'm a Little Teacup. You want to try it? Ready? I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm a little raccoon prowling around. I hunt for food without a sound. A mask on my face and a bushy tail. Let's see if you can spot my trail. Good job, good job, good job. So that song told us that raccoons are very quiet. They're very quiet animals. I think a sound that they might make is like a little chirping sound, but they mostly stay quiet and we can't hear them because they're hunting. And not only that, they sleep during the day. They also have masks on their face and bushy tails, and they have a very distinct paw print, which you might be able to see. Their fingers are very pointy, like ours. They have little paws, but their fingers on their paws, their little toes, are very pointy and have sharp claws at the end. So if you see a little paw print that has pointy little ends, it's probably a raccoon. Let's do another song. This is called Raccoon, and it's kind of like Kookaburra. So it goes like this. I'm going to count to 3, and you can join me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Raccoon Raccoon sleeps in a hollow tree while the sun shines on you and me. Sleep, raccoon, sleep, raccoon, warm and cozily. In the darkest part of the night, raccoon has the best eyesight. Look, raccoon, look, raccoon, my, your eyes are bright. Raccoon hardly makes a sound when he prowls all around. Hunt, raccoon, hunt, raccoon, find food on the ground. Good job, good job. So that song also reminded us that raccoons sleep during the day and they hunt at night. It's really, really rare that you'll see a raccoon during the day. Sometimes you might find them near a trash can because raccoons are kind of like scavengers. They're looking for things that they can eat that are easy. They'll eat things from bugs to different kinds of plants, but they are carnivores, so they will eat meat, and they will find it if you leave it out. Okay, that's the end of our story time. So before we go, let's do our goodbye song, Skinamarink. I'll count to 3 and you can join me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink, skinamarink-a-doo. I love you. Skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink, skinamarink-a-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. So, skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink, skinamarink-a-doo. I love you. Thanks for coming. I love you. See you next time. I love you too. Boop boop be doo. Bye friends. I will see you next week. And this next week will be our last summer reading story time. So it will be our last story time where we talk about different animals. And next week we'll be talking about animals we find in our homes. So stay tuned. I'll see you then. Bye.